Hey there, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. My name is Pete, and today we complete episode 66 of our Insanity walkthrough, and with that, the grand finale of the game's main storyline. It has been a long journey up until this point. Except for one more DLC, we have solved all the main and side missions the game has to offer. We have unlocked almost all achievements, and with the end of the last episode, we have also officially begun our romance with Tali. Now, if you are at this point in the game as well, but still have some missions to complete, then I would strongly advise to postpone those. If you're doing things right, then you can keep playing after this mission. However, if you complete only a single other mission between the Collector attack on the Normandy and going through the relay, then that will have some negative consequences, and without spoiling anything, I'm pretty sure that you want to avoid those. But again, apart from one more DLC, we do not really have anything else to complete, so I would say we are more than ready to finally go through the Omega-4 relay. Once again, this is the beginning of the end, so let's see where the journey takes us.
Please confirm destination, Shepard. The Reaper IFF is online, but there is a chance that the Normandy may not survive the Omega-4 relay. Once we are en route, we are committed.
And because this is without a doubt the major point of no return in this game, we have to confirm our decision here. There are no morality points available, but let's still go with the crew as our motivation.
The Collectors took my people. Time to go get them back.
You got it, Commander. Plotting a course for the Omega-4 relay. ETA about 2 hours. I'll let you know when we arrive.
So, I've taken some antibiotics as well as some herbal supplements that should bolster my immune system. I was going to bring music, but I didn't know what you'd like. And I'm babbling like an idiot.
Okay, so it seems like our romance with Tali is about to enter the next stage. Of course, only if we pick the right dialogue choice here, which we will have to do in order to unlock the Paramour achievement.
It's okay. Come here.
I just don't want to. I want this to work. I've thought it over. I've minimized the risks, but I'm still nervous, and that always makes me talk too much. It's a defense mechanism, and it's stupid, and people who just see the helmet can't see my expression, so I have to make it clear what I'm feeling.
Shepard, I wish I had more information for you. I don't like you heading through that relay blind, but we don't have much choice.
So, from our romantic interaction, we now move on to one that is very likely the exact opposite, but by praising the strength of our team, we can grab the first 2 Paragon points of the episode.
I'm not going alone. I've got some of the best working with me. If we stick together, we'll make it.
I knew we brought you back for a reason. I've never seen a better leader. Despite the danger, it's a great opportunity. The first human to take a ship through and survive.
Now, there are no further morality points available here, but let's still point out that this is not some grand experiment, as the elusive man's priorities seem to be a little bit concerning.
I'm going to destroy the Collectors, to stop their attacks on humanity.
Understood. It's still impressive. I just wanted you to know I appreciate the risk you're taking. Regardless of your opinion of Cerberus, of me, you are a valuable asset to all of humanity. Be careful, Shepard.
Approaching Omega-4 relay. Everyone stand by.
Let's make it happen.
Reaper IFF activated. Signal acknowledged.
Commander, the drive core just lit up like a Christmas tree.
Drive core electrical charge at critical levels.
Rerouting.
Brace for deceleration.
shit! Too close. Well, these must be all the ships that tried to make it through the Omega-4 relay. Some look ancient.
I have detected an energy signature near the edge of the accretion disk.
Has to be the collector base. Take us in for a closer look. Nice and easy.
Careful, Jeff. We have company.
Taking evasive maneuvers. Yeah, they're just pissing me off. Edie, take these bastards out!
As long as the new plating holds.
They want another round? Come on, girl, let's give it to them.
Deck.
It's in the cargo hold.
I'll take a team and deal with the intruder. You get the rest of them off our tail.
Aye, aye, Command.
Okay, so not only did we just unlock the suicide mission achievement for using the Omega-4 relay, but after a lengthy cutscene we now have to fight, and we will take Miranda and Grunt for this one. Miranda has just enough squad points left to max out and evolve her warp ability to heavy warp, while Grunt can slightly improve his fortification ability and become even tankier than he already is. This brings us now to weapon selection, and here we are now finally using the Maddock for the first time. This assault rifle that comes with the Firepower Pack DLC is arguably one of the most powerful weapons in the entire game, and it can make certain fights suspiciously easy in my opinion, which is why we are only using it now for the final mission of the game. We are also equipping the M920 cane because shenanigans are back on the menu, and then we'll make sure that Grunt and Miranda have all the best equipment they can have before we head down into the cargo hold to start the fight. Right, so switching over to the M920 cane, we are in fact launching a mini nuke inside of the Normandy, and for some reason absolutely no one seems to mind. The Oculus attacker meanwhile loses a hefty chunk of its armor, and we can quickly replenish our heavy weapon ammo with the power cells over here, before we then go into cover, switch to the Maddock and land the last few hits on the Oculus, at least for the moment.
We're sitting ducks out here! I have to try to lose them in the debris field!
Our kinetic barriers are not designed to survive impact with debris that size, Jeff.
Well, I guess it's a good thing we upgraded. We're going in! Come on, find some room!
Kinetic barriers at 40%.
Reroute non-critical power! This is gonna hurt. Damage report!
Kinetic barriers steady at 30%. No significant damage.
Take the helm, Edie, and keep it slow. See if we can avoid any more attention.
I have detected an enemy heading for the cargo hold.
That thing again. This one's up to Shepard.
We've been spotted!
Alright, here we are back again, and first of all we want to grab even more heavy weapon ammo, because the power cells over here have actually been replenished. While we then slowly proceed to take out the Oculus with the Maddock, I can quickly say that the previous approach could have gone very differently, at least if we had not upgraded the Normandy with things like new plating, new shields and a new gun. You may have noticed that there were some references to that, and there will be one more in just a second. For now though, let's watch the Oculus go up in flames and complete the approach.
Dead for sure this time.
Better get back up here, Commander.
We're about to clear the debris field. There it is. The collector base.
See if you can find a place to land without drawing attention.
Too late. Looks like they're sending out an old friend to greet us.
Time to show our new team. Fire the main gun.
How do you like that, you sons of bitches?
Get in close and finish him off.
Everybody hold on, gonna be a wild ride. Give him hell, girl.
Look out!
Mass Effect field generators are offline. Edie, give me something.
Generators unresponsive. All systems for impact.
Joker, you okay?
I think I broke a rib. Or all of them.
Multiple core systems overloaded during the crash. Restoring operation will take time.
We all knew this was likely a one-way trip.
Now, once again, this brief conversation here does not give us any morality points, but I don't feel like I want to agree with Miranda here, as we are very much planning on surviving this mission.
I'll do whatever it takes to stop the collectors, but I plan to live to tell about it.
I'm glad you're in charge. What's next?
One more question then before we go, because if we survive, we should have a way to get out of here. For the moment though, I agree that we have bigger concerns.
How long until the collectors find this landing zone?
I do not detect an internal security network. It is possible the collectors did not expect anyone to reach the base.
Well, if we're lucky, their external sensors were hid like we were. They might not know we're alive.
This isn't how we planned this mission, but this is where we're at. We can't worry about whether the Normandy can get us home. We came to stop the collectors, and that means coming up with a plan to take out this station. Edie, bring up your scans.
You should be able to overload their critical systems if you get to the main control center here.
That means going through the heart of the station, right past this massive energy signature.
That's the central chamber. If our crew, or any of the colonists, are still alive, the collectors are probably holding them in there.
Looks like there are two main routes. Might be a good idea to split up to keep the collectors off balance, then regroup in the central chamber.
No good. Both routes are blocked. See these doors? The only way past is to get someone to open them from the other side.
Now, as far as I know, all of the dialogue choices here lead more or less to the same result, and since there are, once again, no morality points given here, we can pick whatever we want.
It's not a fortress, there's gotta be something. Here, maybe we can send someone in through this ventilation shaft.
Practically a suicide mission. I volunteer.
I appreciate the thought, Jacob, but you couldn't shut down the security systems in time. We need to send a tech expert.
It's your call, Commander. Who do we send into the shaft?
Okay, first major choice of this mission, and we want to make very sure that we pick a specialist who is actually suited for the job. And interestingly enough, that is not the case with Jacob, so even though he volunteered, we have to pick someone else, and that someone is going to be Tali. Now, Legion and Kasumi would be suitable candidates as well, but I feel like out of those three, Shepard would trust Tali the most.
We need someone with tech skills to hack that security system. Tali, you're up.
I won't let you down.
The rest of us will break into 2 teams and fight down each passage. That should draw the Collector's attention away from what you're doing.
I'll lead the second fire team, Shepard. We'll meet up with you on the other side of the doors.
Not so fast, cheerleader. Nobody wants to take orders from you.
This isn't a popularity contest. Lives are at stake. Shepard, you need someone who can command loyalty through experience.
Now, this time we could actually choose Miranda as the secondary squad leader, she is very capable of that, but I would actually like to have her in my own squad for this mission, so we are giving the task to another old friend of ours in Garrus. By the way, Jacob would have been a suitable candidate as well, but, well, he is no Garrus, is he?
Garrus, you're in charge of the second team.
Well, at least he knows what he's doing.
And even though the stakes could hardly be higher, let's tell everyone to be careful here. I think that fits the tone of a very difficult mission ahead of us, and it also gives us 2 more Paragon points.
I don't know what we're gonna find in there, but I won't lie to you. It's not gonna be easy. We've lost good people. We may lose more.
And one last classic Paragon Renegade choice here. Yes, it is most certainly time for payback, but we're not only doing this for ourselves.
We don't know how many the Collectors have stolen. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's not important. What matters is this. Not one more. That's what we can do. Here, today. It ends with us. They want to know what we're made of? I say we show them, on our terms. Let's bring our people home.
So, squad selection, and as I said, we will bring Miranda because of her warp power and because she boosts weapon damage for everyone in the squad. However, against the Collectors, 1 warp is good, but 2 warps are better, so let's bring Thane along as our 3rd squad member. And with the remaining points he has, we will upgrade his Shredder ammo. That won't do much good as long as the Collectors have their barrier up, but it can make the job a bit easier afterwards. Weapon selection remains more or less the same except for a slight change to Thane's SMG, and now we're ready to embark on the suicide mission. So, here we are, inside the Collector base. Garrus is leading a 2nd squad inside somewhere, and Tali is also already in position.
I'm inside the ventilation shaft, Shepard. It's hot in here, but it's clear as far as I can tell.
Second team, are you in position?
In position. Meet you on the other side of those doors.
And as we make our way around the corner here, we already run into our first group of enemies. As you will very quickly see though, the Maddock assault rifle comes with some hefty stopping power, capable of decimating our foes in just a few shots. Now there are 2 ways to approach this first fight. The one that we are currently going with is a bit more straight on, but there is also a long walkway over to the left of these platforms, which would give us the chance to perhaps flank 1 or 2 enemies. In my opinion though, this first fight is relatively easy and doesn't really warrant any sort of elaborate strategy. so only after the last enemy falls we'll actually use the walkway to proceed at a good pace.
I'm stuck. Something's blocking the pipe. Looks like some kind of gate.
There, over by the ventilation shaft. That valve should open the gate.
The gate is open. Moving forward.
Alright, and as you can see in the bottom right corner we now have 7 more of these valves to open. However, of course, the collectors have something to say about that. Now, if we keep Tali waiting for too long and don't proceed relatively quickly, then she will actually take damage, and this is one of the ways that we could, in theory, fail this mission. However, I personally feel like the time window is pretty generous, especially for the first few valves, so as long as we don't make any major mistakes here early on, we, or more specifically Tali, should be fine. Now, just around the corner here we can find valve number 4, and with that we are already halfway done, but of course, shortly after we have another fight on our hands. This right here can be a slightly more tricky area. Yes, we start off with the high ground advantage, but our enemies spawn relatively close to us, and there is also this big pillar-like structure in the middle that obstructs most of our view. Now, at the end of the fight, we quickly want to climb onto the platform here to collect some much-needed ammunition, and ammo is actually something to keep an eye on throughout this mission, even though there are 2 points in this mission where you are given a full refill for free, otherwise you would for sure be completely out of ammo by the time the final fight rolls around. Now, at this point you can see in the lower right corner that Tali is starting to take some damage. However, valve number 5 is right over here on the left and we can quickly solve the problem.
The gate is open. Moving forward.
As we proceed, we then want to collect all the ammo we can find. This is arguably the Maddox's biggest drawback, because yes, it does a lot of damage, but it also runs out of ammunition pretty fast. Now, this collector trio here is always a nice little challenge, I think. With the Maddox and some careful aiming, it is actually possible to kill them all before they retreat, which then gives us a bit of breathing room to switch over to the sniper rifle, which is definitely a good weapon for what comes next. We are in fact now entering the final fight of this first stage of the mission. A large group of collectors is about to arrive in front of us, and we still have 2 more valves to go. Now, what we could do at this point, since they're both pretty close together and already visible, is to just ignore the enemies completely, activate valve number 7 and then make a beeline for number 8. With full shields, adrenaline rush and a bit of luck, that is in fact doable, and activating valve number 8 will trigger a cutscene that immediately ends the entire fight. Since there are no experience points in this game, this is in my opinion a viable way of cutting a few seconds off of this mission. However, I also think that it's not necessarily the way this mission was intended to be played, so we'll do it the old-fashioned way by simply staying in cover and taking out the remaining enemies, before we then activate the last valve and clear a path for Tali.
Come in! Look out! Secret spawn!
We're in position. We need this door open, now!
Go, we'll cover you!
Something's wrong. The door's stuck. Stop it!
Here they come! Fall back!
Suppressing fire! Don't let anyone through that door!
Nice work, Tali. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Shepard, you need to see this. Looks like one of the missing colonists.
There's more. Over here.
God, she's still alive. Get them out of there! Hurry! Dr. Chakwas, are you okay?
Shepard, you came for us.
Okay, so the survival of our crew here, including Kelly Chambers, actually depends on how quickly we embark on this mission, because again, if we wait too long, some of our crew members will die. Dr. Chakwas, by the way, survives in any scenario, and that is good for us because it now allows us to grab 2 more Paragon points.
No one gets left behind.
Thank God you got here in time. A few more seconds and I don't even want to think about it.
The colonists were processed. Those swarms of little robots, they melted their bodies into grey liquid and pumped it through these tubes.
And as usual, let's try to learn as much as we can before stating our opinion, even though at this point it is pretty clear that yes, we have to stop this.
Why are they doing this? What are they doing with our genetic material?
I don't know. I'm just glad you got here before it happened to us.
So are we. But we still have a job to do. We've done well so far. Let's hope we can finish the job.
Joker, can you get a fix on our position?
Roger that, Commander. All those tubes lead into the main control room right above you. The route is blocked by a security door, but there's another chamber that runs parallel to the one you're in.
I cannot recommend that. Thermal emissions suggest the chamber is overrun with seeker swarms. Morden's countermeasure cannot protect you against so many at once.
Both dialogue options here then lead pretty much to the same result, and so in just a moment we will learn how the second part of this mission is going to go.
What about biotics? Could we create a biotic field to keep them from getting near us?
Yes, I think it may be possible. I wouldn't be able to protect everyone, but we might be able to get a small team through if they stayed close.
I could do it too. In theory, any biotic could handle it. Shepard, who do you want to maintain the field?
Right, so interestingly enough, once again Miranda has offered her help, and once again she is not suitable for the task. Samara and Jack, however, both are, and character-wise I don't have any particular preference towards either one of them, so let's give the spot to Jack. Maybe Shepard feels like he has to make up for something after not engaging in a relationship with her.
Jack and I will take a small team through the Seeker swarms. The rest of you provide a diversion by going through the main passage. We'll open the security doors from the other side and meet you there.
Who should lead the diversion team?
And just like last time, once again this task here will fall to Garrus, even though, also just like last time, Miranda and Jacob would be suitable alternatives.
I'll keep the defenders busy. You slip around the back.
What about me and the rest of the crew, Shepard? We're in no shape to fight.
Commander, we have enough systems back online to do a pickup, but we need to land back from your position.
We can't afford to go back, Shepard. Not now.
And of course, for 20 Paragon points and to make sure that our crew actually survives the trip, we will have someone escort them.
You'll never make it without help. I'll send someone with you.
However, it is advisable to pick someone who is not necessarily the strongest frontline fighter, and in my opinion Morden is a very good candidate for this task, but as long as we pick a loyal squad member, there are no bad choices per se.
Joker, need location of landing zone. We'll meet you there.
We've all got our assignments. Let's move out.
Now, for the next part of this mission, we will continue to go with Miranda and Thane. As you might be able to expect, our enemies will not change dramatically.
Moving out! Stay close if you want to live.
And here we go, with Jack leading the way and our ammunition fully replenished. And that is a good thing, considering that we are still very far from the finish line.
Garrus here. Aim is in position and ready for boarders, Shepard.
swarms are interfering with radio contact. You ready for this?
Let's go, Commander! Incoming!
I will direct
this person.
Now, I have found that at this point it's better to just hold fire. Harbinger will only hover around here for a few seconds, and that is usually not enough to get the kill. Not to mention that we don't want to go after him first anyway. So this means that all of our enemies had some time to take a position over on the left here. Actually a poor decision, because it means that we now have the high ground. One thing that we do want to pay attention to is Harbinger eventually flanking us. Usually it doesn't come to that, as the regular collectors are pretty quickly taken care of, but it is still a slim possibility if we take too long.
All clear! Let me know when you're ready to move up, Commander. Ready to move, Commander.
Right, so the first fight is in the books and on we go. And yes, the pace of this part of the mission can be a little slow sometimes, but to make up for that, there is no shortage of action. And it looks like Garrus and his team are making good progress as well, so I thought I'd take a moment here to show you what happens if we leave the barrier. So, as you just saw, we definitely want to stay close to Jack, which can at times actually be a little difficult, especially in fights like these, as husks usually require a bit of movement to stay out of their path, and during this part of the mission we are severely limited in that regard. However, the husks are not the real threat in this area. Once they're down, we have more collectors appear, so let's quickly get into some cover.
I'll be here. Let me know when you want to move.
Now, this is one of the very few collector fights in the game where I recommend taking out Harbinger first, otherwise we will get flanked pretty quickly, in all likelihood before the rest of the enemies have been taken out. Part of the reason why is that among those enemies we now also have Collector Guardians, which are slightly tougher than the default Collector drone, and therefore just take up a little bit more of our time. All in all, this is probably the first fight in this mission that can give you some real trouble. Again, the big fight at the end of the first part can relatively easily be avoided. This one, however, we have to get through.
All clear. Let me know when you're ready to move up, Commander. Let's go!
So, that is one tough fight behind us, but unfortunately we are not done just yet. As a matter of fact, what is arguably the hardest fight of this part of the mission, maybe even of the entire mission, is still coming up. And as part of our preparations, I think it's a good idea to switch over to the sniper rifle at this point. Not only do we have a bit more ammunition for that compared to the Maddock, but it allows us to open up the next fight with a bang. Now, in case we need it, there is a guaranteed drop of ammunition over here, but again, we are starting things off with a sniper rifle, and a good position is vital to our success.
Could be a real firefight. I'll hold this position.
Coming around the corner here, we have a powerful Scion, and that is an enemy that we ideally take care of as quickly as possible. Unfortunately though, there is usually not enough time to accomplish that, because this Scion is accompanied by a small army of husks and abominations that all demand our immediate attention. Now, in any other fight like this, a tactical retreat would now be a good option. However, that is not an option here, as we cannot safely leave Jack's biotic barrier. This means that there is really no other option but to take on our enemies head first, which also includes exposing ourselves to potential attacks from the Scion. Now, luckily that Scion is pretty slow to advance, and after landing those 2 sniper shots earlier, it also doesn't have a whole lot of health left, but as long as it's still standing, it is definitely a threat to our survival.
All clear. Let me know when you're ready to move up, Commander. Moving out, Commander.
Now, luckily, at this point we have survived the worst, at least for the moment, but we do want to keep our shotgun out and our magazine fully stocked, because we're not quite at the end just yet.
Perfect. There.
The next two husks here go down pretty easily though, and from here on out we will only fight a few more lone stragglers.
Trying to hold on.
As you can see, Jack is also starting to struggle to keep up the barrier for any longer, and don't worry, that would be the case with Samara at this point as well, so it's a good thing that we can literally see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I can see the entrance. Need to get there soon.
And as I said, we are only facing a few more harmless enemies at this point, so let's eliminate them quickly and then get into, well, relative safety.
Hold on, we're almost there. We must move quickly, Shepard. All right, let's move. They're pushing! Keep it up!
Hurry, Shepard!
I copy. What's your position?
We're pinned down at the door, taking heavy fire.
We're coming. Just hold on. Get this door open. Come on! Seal the door!
And yes, I know, normally I don't talk over cutscenes, but at this point I think it's important to mention that Garrus only survives this gunshot if he's loyal to us.
Joker, are you at the rendezvous point?
I'm here, Commander. Chakwas and the rest of the crew just showed up.
Morton's group just arrived, Shepard. No casualties.
Excellent. Now let's make it count. Edie, what's our next step?
There should be some nearby platforms that will take you to the main control console. From there, you can overload the system and destroy the base.
Commander, you got a problem. Hostiles massing just outside the door. Won't be long till they bust through.
Now, I think that our two dialogue options here are really just two sides of the same coin. Yes, time is of the essence for whoever proceeds deeper into the base, but the rest should probably also keep the collectors at bay.
A rear guard could defend this position and keep the collectors from overwhelming us.
Pick a team to go with you, Shepard. Everyone else can bunker down here and cover your back.
Now, at this point, it is very important to leave behind a few strong defenders, and that includes characters like Grunt, Garrus and Zaid, for example, so that those who stay back and hold the line have a fighting chance. However, since we continue to go with Miranda and Thane, we are definitely leaving behind enough defensive power.
I'm ready, Commander.
As am I.
Anything to say before we do this?
Now, we can obtain 2 more Paragon points here by once again pointing out that we are not doing this for ourselves, even though the sweet taste of victory is getting closer and closer.
The Collectors, the Reapers, they aren't a threat to us. They're a threat to everything. Everyone. Those are the lives we're fighting for. That's the scale.
This dialogue choice here does not give any morality points, by the way, and no matter what we pick, Shepard does a great job of getting the gravity of the situation across.
It's been a long journey, and no one's coming out without scars. But it all comes down to this moment. We win or lose it all in the next few minutes. Make me proud. Make yourselves proud.
Well said. Let's go finish this.
So, here we are, one more time our ammunition has been fully replenished, and trust me, we will need it.
Enemies incoming!
Our first group of enemies only consists of 3 collector drones flying in on a platform here, and since well-placed sniper shots are enough to get us instant kills, and since Thane can occasionally throw an enemy without barriers off of the platform, the first group is quickly taken out of the fight, no Harbinger in sight just yet. However, a second platform with more enemies is already on its way, and this one does actually have a Collector Guardian on board, so in very small increments, things are about to get more and more difficult. Platform number 3 is then the first one where Harbinger makes an appearance. I am actually not sure if that can happen with the first 2 platforms as well. At least in my playthroughs I always cleared those out pretty quickly, while on this one here Harbinger takes control of a collector before the platform even fully arrives. At this point, maybe also a bit of advice, because you're not fighting collectors that often in this game. Whenever possible, it's a good idea to take out the regular collectors first before focusing on Harbinger, otherwise he might just take over one of the other drones and you have to fight him all over again. You have probably also noticed at this point that I am very much saving the Maddock for later. Apart from a few drops here and there, what we have now in ammo will have to last us until the end of the mission. For our 4th enemy wave, we then upgrade from 1 platform full of collectors to 2, and this one has the full package: Harbinger, a few collector guardians, and even a collector assassin with a sniper rifle. One thing that is important to note here is that the game has a tendency to register some of these platform fights as individual combat encounters, which means our squad members have a tendency to run away from their assigned positions in the few seconds that we have between fights. This is unfortunate and can easily get 1 or 2 of them killed, so it's a good idea to always keep an eye out for that. And despite the ever-increasing difficulty of this fight, we are not switching over to the Maddock just yet. Yes, a shotgun over this distance is really not an ideal weapon choice, but trust me, it will be worth it in just a moment. Now for the next platform here, we are not even going to bother and switch right over to the M920 Kane, as 2 Scions and 3 Abominations can be pretty problematic, especially since we're already down 1 squad member. I will have to say though, it is absolutely not necessary to go with this approach, and there is one more enemy coming up that the Kane would be very useful against. Either way, we have now dealt with all the enemies the game can throw at us at the moment. Our way onwards lies at the end of that platform that just flew in, but before we activate the console on there, let's scan the area for ammunition, as even with a full magazine, the Maddock alone will likely not suffice for what comes next.
This is it. All the tubes lead to this spot. Edie, what can you tell us? What are they doing?
The tubes are feeding into some kind of superstructure. It is emitting both organic and non-organic energy signatures. Given these readings, it must be massive. Shepard, if my calculations are correct, the superstructure is a Reaper.
Not just any Reaper. A human Reaper.
Precisely. It appears the collectors have processed tens of thousands of humans. Significantly more will be required to complete the Reaper.
Right, so I have to admit, when I first played this game, this was a bit of a head-scratcher moment for me. I don't want to ruin the moment for you though, so let's just keep going here and ask a few questions.
How many more humans do you think they'd try to take?
Millions. Perhaps more. Impossible to know for certain. This Reaper appears to be in a very early stage of development. An embryo in human terms.
So it's not alive yet? We can still stop it from being created?
The process can be stopped, but it is unclear exactly how much it has developed. I cannot, for example, tell you if it has awareness.
What did the collectors gain by turning humans into this Reaper shell?
They may be facilitating the Reaper equivalent of reproduction, or it may serve another purpose. I do not have the data to speculate further. However, it is clear that the collectors are merely pawns. The technology and ability needed to create this Reaper is not their own. It is likely that different species construct each Reaper. In this case, the collectors provide the labor.
The collectors are just Protheans. Why would they help the Reapers?
The Reapers subdued the Protheans long ago. Probabilities suggest they attempted to create a Prothean Reaper and failed. Over time, they adapted the Protheans to suit their needs, changed them, turned them into workers, tools for the Reapers.
They're building it to look like a human. Why?
It appears that a Reaper's shape is based upon the species used to create it.
Reapers are machines. Why do they need humans at all?
Incorrect. Reapers are sapient constructs, a hybrid of organic and inorganic material. The exact construction methods are unclear, but it seems probable that the Reapers absorb the essence of a species, utilizing it in their reproduction process.
2 Paragon points can then be obtained by pointing out the rather obvious, I think. At this point, it seems obvious that a fight is inevitable.
This thing is an abomination. Edie, how do we destroy it?
The large tubes injecting the fluid are a weak structural link. Destroying them should cause the supports to collapse, and the Reaper to fall.
Give us a minute, Edie. We gotta take care of some old friends first.
He's incoming!
Now, the Reaper itself is not actually attacking us just yet. Instead, another platform full of collectors arrives, and we have to take those out before we can do anything else. At this point, I think it should also be clear that in order to take out the Reaper, we have to destroy the feeding tubes, and there are 4 of them, so you can probably already imagine what that means in terms of how this fight will play out. However, we can make things significantly easier by making sure that we have the Maddock equipped as the last enemy goes down here, because using this weapon paired with Adrenaline Rush allows us to destroy all 4 tubes in one go. And so, a lengthy and potentially dangerous boss fight is cut extremely short, but the real fun is only just beginning.
Shoot!
Shepard to ground team. Status report.
Jack here. I'm tagging him as they come, but feel free to call for an exit anytime.
Head to the Normandy. Joker, prep the engines. I'm about to overload this place and blow it sky high.
Roger that, Commander. Commander, I've got an incoming signal from the elusive man. Edie's patching it through.
Shepard, you've done the impossible.
And look who shows up now that the enemy is defeated. I'm sure the elusive man once again wants something from us. For now, though, we can use him to grab 2 more Paragon points.
I was part of a team. Some of them gave their lives for this mission.
I know. Their sacrifice will not be forgotten. You did what you had to do, and you acquired the collector base. I'm looking at the schematics Edie uploaded. A timed radiation pulse would kill the remaining collectors, but leave the machinery and technology intact. This is our chance, Shepard. They were building a Reaper. That knowledge, that framework could save us.
Okay, so maybe you saw this coming, maybe not. In any case, at this point it should hardly be surprising. And we can obtain 2 more Paragon points here by pointing out that we do in fact have a slightly different view on things.
They've liquefied people, turned them into something horrible. We have to destroy the base.
Don't be short-sighted. Our best chance against the Reapers is to turn their own resources against them.
I'm not so sure. Seeing it firsthand, using anything from this base seems like a betrayal.
If we ignore this opportunity, that would be a betrayal. They were working directly with the collectors. Who knows what information is buried there? This base is a gift. We can't just destroy it.
You're completely ruthless. The next thing I know, you'll be wanting to grow your own Reaper.
My goal is to save humanity from the Reapers, at any cost. I've never hidden that from you. Imagine how many lives could be saved if we keep this base intact and use its knowledge to thwart the Reapers. Imagine the lives that will be lost if we don't.
Now, we will once again go for the Paragon option here, but this is not the final choice. At this point, it should be clear, though, that Shepard and the elusive man want very different things.
No matter what kind of technology we might find, it's not worth it.
Shepard, you died fighting for what you believed. I brought you back so you could keep fighting. Some would say what we did to you was going too far, but look what you've accomplished. I didn't discard you because I knew your value. Don't be so quick to discard this facility. Think of the potential.
So, decision time. Do we destroy the base or do we keep it? This decision does actually have some consequences for Mass Effect 3, however, considering that this is the final mission of the game and arguably the biggest decision in it, the extent of those consequences is honestly a little bit underwhelming. Technically speaking, the Renegade option would be ever so slightly better, but again the difference is hardly noticeable, so let's go Paragon here and make sure this facility is destroyed.
We'll fight and win without it. I won't let fear compromise who I am.
Miranda, do not let Shepard destroy the base.
Or what? You'll replace me next?
I gave you an order, Miranda.
I noticed. Consider this my resignation.
Shepard, think about what's at stake, about everything Cerberus has done for you.
Let's move. We've got 10 minutes before the reactor overloads and blows this whole station apart.
And I don't think it comes as too much of a surprise that we are in fact not done just yet. As a matter of fact, the real boss fight of this mission is only just beginning. Now, if we could still fire the M920 Kane, this right here would be the perfect point to do that. It would not completely destroy the Reaper immediately, but it would do a healthy amount of damage. Instead, we now have to employ more traditional means and focus our firepower on the Reaper's weak spots, which are all classified as armor by the way, so using anti-armor powers and switching over to incendiary or inferno ammo definitely has its advantages. Now, there is one interesting bit of information that I found in the Mass Effect wiki, because it says there that the second stage of the Reaper fight should actually also be accompanied by more collectors arriving on platforms. However, I have probably completed this fight about 24 times now, and for me they never showed up. So I'm not quite sure if my game is doing something wrong or if the information in the wiki is wrong. In any case, I do feel like both stages of this fight are generally more tedious than they are hard. Sure, the Reaper larva here has a ton of hit points, but it doesn't really attack all that often, and if it does on occasion launch its fire blast attack, then simply dodging behind cover is enough to stay safe most of the time. But again, I'm not trying to take away too much from the moment here, so let's go out on a high note together. After 66 episodes, the final enemy of the game is just about to be defeated here. Our episode is slowly approaching the 1 hour mark, but I invite you to stick around for a little while longer, because while the final fight here may have its flaws, the overall ending to the game is still going to be extremely satisfying.
I'm here, Joker. Did the ground team make it?
All survivors on board. We're just waiting for you.
Human, you've changed nothing. Your species has the attention of those infinitely or greater. That which you know as Reapers are your salvation to destruction.
Shepard, you're making a habit of costing me more than time and money.
And at this point, I do believe that Shepard should be properly fed up with the elusive man, and since there are no further morality points to be had here, we can also let him know that.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. I'm getting a lot of bullshit on this line.
Don't try my patience. The technology from that base could have secured human dominance in the galaxy, against the Reapers and beyond.
Human dominance? Or just Cerberus?
Strength for Cerberus is strength for every human. Cerberus is humanity. I should have known you'd choke on the hard decisions. Too idealistic from the start.
And once again, we can now point out that things have indeed changed, and I have to admit, it really feels good to finally be able to do that.
I'm not looking for your approval. Harbinger is coming, and he won't be alone. Humanity needs a leader who's looking out for them. From now on, I'm doing things my way, whether you agree or not.
Don't turn your back on me, Shepard. I made you. I brought you back from the dead.
And yes, I do think that it's finally time for the elusive man to shut up.
Joker, lose this channel.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, Mass Effect 2 has finally been completed. And while we will let the credits roll in respect of all of those people who have worked so hard on this game, we also have an absolute ton of achievements coming in, 6 in total to be precise, and those are also the remaining 6 that we have been missing. Now, I have mentioned this before, but this is not the end just yet. There is one more DLC for the game that is, interestingly enough, best played after the game's main storyline has been completed, and that DLC will of course come with a few achievements of its own, so technically full completion has not yet been achieved, even though we do already fulfill all the requirements for the N7 Elite achievement. Now, like I said, we will let the credits roll until the very end here. Afterwards, the game will put us back on the Normandy, and that is where we will pick things back up for one last time in the next episode. I will, however, already say goodbye to you at this point. I really hope you have enjoyed this grand finale and of course the playthrough as a whole, and if you did, then I would of course, as always, be happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.